Well, it's a little bit loud to do an opening episode, but it's got to be done. It is Thursday the 9th of July. Yes, episode 38 of Boat Extras. Welcome. Oh, it's not going to be a good one, this. Anyway, I'll show you the reason why. When you can obviously hear it, can't you? They're trimming trees, but not just trimming trees on a small scale. Take a look at this. As you can see, plenty of action going on. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing the fiberglassing. More of this. We're going to be sanding this down. I hope you can hear it. We're going to do all this section around here and all around here and sand it down. I might have used a little bit, well, more fiberglass than hardener because it's feeling a bit chewing gummy. So I've come out into the sun and hopefully I can get some sanding done, and hopefully it might just dry it up that little bit more. But we're just going to give it a sand off and we'll see where we go. I've got a gut feeling I'm going to go through that quite quickly. So with that said, I will see you shortly. Welcome back. Right. So, quick update. It's turning out to be sounding okay, this. I mean, it's a shame we haven't got smooth touch of vision, because that is as flat as anything. That is perfect. I'm very happy with the way that that's turned out, and that one. So if the rest of them go like that, I think we're going to be just fine. So, I'll carry on doing these. We're going through the paper like it's going out of fashion, but you know what, it's working. I mean, all these little holes here, these can all be filled in, so I've got no problem with that. I don't even think, to be honest, it even needs another fiberglass fill over this. I can use a skim of flexi filler over these, and I think we'll be really good to go. So I'll crack on with these top bits out there. I brought it in because you just can't hear anything out there. And we'll crack on. So far so good, my friends. See you shortly. Right, this is stopping me from working at the moment, but it's worth watching it. Never argue with a crane. So it's a bit of YouTube. You go Wearings. Wearings own all this. This used to be their main place where they manufactured farm buildings. So throughout the country you will see all the buildings that you see, you'll see a plaque saying Wearings on it. And they're based, well, it says Preston, but they're Ray Greeners. Well, it is Ray Green actually. But we'll watch this thing go up because it's quite fascinating. Chopping these trees down here, just lowering them a bit, because there's a residential section over here. I don't know whether I can show you, but over there, they're all houses along there, and it blocks the light. So they, every so often, they chop down all the way along, and you can see that they've chopped to that level there, and now they're going to start there and work their way around to there. So they're just going to lift this baby up. Makes my little project a little thing, doesn't it? Oh, just while we're looking at my project, as you can see, it's coming on really nicely, so I'm very happy about that. this section here is going to be the main thing. Trying to get that all nicely flat, and what have you. So we just have. Oh yeah. Just got to move my little motorbike out of the way. So stay tuned. Right, so. Oh, I don't know why I'm facing the engine. IS Wearings, can you send me a crane to lift that engine up? Yeah, he sent me that. Only joking. I'm going to watch this thing go up, so I'm just going to video it because I think it's quite fascinating, really. He's going to put all the concrete, those little concrete circles there, go underneath the pads so it doesn't damage the ground. I'm assuming that's what they're for anyway. Stay tuned. I levelled it all up now. Leveling it all up. Remarkable. And actually, when it was reversing from over there to here, those rear tyres actually acted like front tyres. They had independent steering. It was unbelievable how it managed to just. I suppose it's the case, but it was amazing how he was able to steer it. Independently from the front. They stayed straight and those literally went on a 90-degree angle. It was crazy how it was able to manoeuvre. Oh, cavalry's coming. Tree surgeon with a tyre. I would imagine that that crane thing there will be coming over to here because it'll be attached to this and then they'll be hoisting that up so then the guys can then chop those trees off over there. Crime scene. Taking it all off. Got in his cab now. I reckon this big thing's going to be moving. Maybe it won't be moving. It's got out his car. Oh, it's got in the front car. No, it's not. Is he? No. Underneath this door. It's better. like a bird in the sky.
That way, this is the proper way again.
Yeah, that's the proper way there. Never mess with a guy with a chainsaw in his hand. Right, back to work. And a warm welcome back. So, where are we up to now? Well, I've sanded everything back as far as I want to go with it. The most important thing next, before we go on to the next stage, is to make sure that all these little pit holes are actually scraped out, because what you'll find is they'll all be white, and I think there's one example there. Can you see that little tiny bit of white there? That needs scraping out, because that will have dust in it, and you can't fill over dust. So you need to make sure that you gouge out all the white bits, because if you don't, then the fiberglass will not stick to the next stage. So all these little pinholes here, around here, they all need scraping out to make sure that you are fiberglassing onto fiberglass and you're covering all the holes. So that's the next stage that we're going to do, and then we're going to panel wipe it all. I'll use Henry, suction hoover it all up, and then we'll give it a quick skim. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I might use a little bit more fiberglass on this one, because I've decided I'm going to fill these holes in here. I didn't really pay much attention to these, but now I'm going to fill them properly, and then that will be okay to have a skim of filler over the top. To be honest, I don't think these need any fiberglass on them. I might just give them a little bit of a skim over. That one's got a divot in it, and I might just fill these in for the sake of filling in, even though that there's going to be a new dashboard on that. But I'm very happy with the first stage. It's definitely coming around to how I want it. That's about it, really. So I think I'll give it a quick skim. I'll clean it first, then give it a skim, and then I'll leave it overnight, and I'll be back here tomorrow, because I'm going to a barbecue this afternoon, and why not? Do you know why? Because it's a beautiful day and I'm going to take advantage of it. So there you go. Right, I'll give it a skim and I'll see you shortly. Right, I've given it a quick skim over. So I can leave that to set overnight now. That's nicely filled in. I've filled in around these holes, just giving this a quick skim over, not skim them because they're literally just pinheads that need doing, but I've just given that a skim, very light skim, so that'll be a doddle to sand. And my sander now is performing brilliantly. Now it's had a refurb, so I'm very pleased that that's gone back together, and I have to say, no pieces left over, which is a normal thing for me. So anyway, that's great. So until tomorrow, well, it's just a turn of the page for you, isn't it? I shall see you then. Bye for now. Welcome back, my friends. It is Friday the 10th on a blistering hot day, which means only one thing: I am working outside. And because we skimmed that one page ago, we're going to give it a quick sand down, and I reckon that will be good to go. Now, last night I had too many thoughts in my head, and it's reference the center console, you know, the old one. In fact, it's those two boxes. We've got the old original type and we've got the new type. I'm having second thoughts. I'm not going to open the box now, and I'm not going to open the other one, but I'm starting to waver, simply because I'm thinking, when that console is all fixed up, do I want to start drilling holes here, there and everywhere to add clocks when actually I've already got clocks on the new one? That's my thought. I'm all for originality, but I'm also for practicality as well. So we may be having another conversation about that. But before we do that, we're going to get some sanding done. So with that said, I shall do what I've just said. Get some sanding done. Bye for now. Right, quick update for you. So basically that is now spotlessly clean. It's had 2 skims of fiberglass, so now all we've got is pitted stuff. So we're going to use some flexi filler on these areas here and on the side, give that a quick skim. Should dry pretty quickly, and then we'll be ready for an undercoat on that. So that's looking pretty good to me, that now. So we'll discuss what sort of panel we're going to put in there. I know we've discussed the old one, but I want to have a redress of the new one because it's got more clocks, more information. So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, well, I just think it might be better because it's all wired up better. You know, there's no faffing around with dealing with the keys and things like that. It's got a set of 2 keys, so I think we may go with the modern one, but we'll address that once we get to that stage. Anyway, let's give it a coat of skim and we'll take it from there. Right, okay, so we've got a skim of filler over the top now of all those areas, so we'll just let that go off. It was going off literally as I was putting it on, so we've not got long to wait for that to go off. You can see, I think that's going to turn out quite nice. I mean, it's got a few pinpricks in it, but I think overall I've missed a couple of holes there which I can go over again, but once it's all sanded back, I think well, I think we'll be ready to give it a coat of undercoat, and we'll have a look at it, see what we see. But before we do that, we'll have a discussion about that once we've got it all sanded off. So stay tuned and I will see you shortly. Right, well, it's about 5 o'clock on Friday, the 10th, and I'm happy with that. Everything is nice and smooth. If you were a blind person, you wouldn't know that there were holes there, so that's marvellous. So I think now, well, not now because I'm going to go home, but I think the next thing we will do is we'll give it an undercoat, but we'll have a discussion with regards to what clock system we will go with. So that said, enjoy the evening. It's piping hot. I'm sure some of you will be on your boat and some of you will be barbecuing. Either way, I will see you in all probabilities tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you later. And a fine morning to you. It is Sunday the 12th of July and it's the night after the Liverpool game. It's the night after the big game, England scraping through. Not the best of matches, but you know, a win is a win, isn't it? Let's hope against now what seems to be the Argies we can perform well, because they seem to be singing on all hymn sheets at the moment. Anyway, I digress from football. I've got more important things to think about, because I am now revisiting that situation. This is the quandary. Do I go, well, I was going to say, do I go for the easy route? I know I've discussed it with you, and I know the overall consensus. Some of you did prefer for me to go for that option, but overall, that option was the better one because of its simplicity. Battery went, so I've no idea how much gargled rubbish I was churning on about, but I'm going to have to say it all again. Well, I'm going to say a bit of it because even I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm struggling to get my head round whether that is still an option, or do I go through what I thought was an easy route and put that in, because it's got all the clocks, it's got all the connections, it's a plug and play, but there's nothing to plug it into, and I'm pretty rubbish at wiring anyway, so do I know exactly what they're all about? Probably not. I mean, that's all that's got. We don't know whether it works or it doesn't work, but it looks pretty simple to wire something up, so maybe that is the simple option to do. That looks appealing because it's got everything on it. That obviously doesn't look very appealing at the moment, but I suppose, like everything I've done, it would look better when it's restored. I'm just thinking, do I want to cut holes in everything now that I've filled it all in, etc.? Because information's the key, you know, when the engine's running. Do you need any more than oil pressure, water temperature? Probably not. Speed doesn't really apply on a canal or a lake for that matter. I mean, the only thing it doesn't have is the hours, although we had, I think, the hour clock. The odometer, I think, used to live there or there. No, it used to live there because somebody drew in, I've got a picture of it, the actual hours that it was going, but does that really apply these days on an engine that we don't know whether is original or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to think about, well, I can't think about that, that's the problem. I can't think about it too much because it's going to slow me down. I need to start cutting holes in that to make either that one fit or that one. I don't think I think the battery went. I think that does fit. It takes up literally everything, but it does fit. That with a minimal amount of cutting, to be honest, probably, yeah, I think a minimal amount of cutting that would fit. Oh God, I really don't know what to say. Do you know what? I think originally you guys said go with this. I know there were certain ones that said that, and I can get it. I do get it. You've got everything you need. It's already on there. I think what I might do is I think I might attempt to. I think I'll go with the original consensus. I'll restore this to the best of my ability. I can cut the hole slightly bigger for it to drop into place. If I don't think it's right and I think I need more, I've got that option, haven't I? I can always cut more. I can't. Well, I can fill it in, but I think I'll still go with that. I've got to make a decision. We made a decision, yeah. I can hear the ones saying, but we made a decision. I was just thinking of the simplicity of the other one, all done. And I'm getting to the point where that's attractive now with a build that's been going on 10 years. Am I looking for the cheap way out? I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing myself. I've got no idea. Right, leave that one with me. Anyway, enjoy the sun. It's so quiet out here. This is the favourite day of all, Sunday. Nobody about. There's only me going to be making an annoying noise. Nothing wrong with that, is there? Right, stay tuned. We'll see where it goes. Bye for now. And a warm welcome back. Right. The indecisive me has now finally gone. The one that is positive and driving forward is back. I am happy with the position and the aesthetics of that. It was meant to be, and that is where it's going. So, the Perkins Marine Engine centre console will be restored like it was. And that, my friends, is what's happening. No more indecisive umming and ahhing. That's what's going on it. And I think aesthetically it looks right. And if I need to put anything, I've got, as you know, everybody else does, we can put some things in here. I just have to make it look right. That's as simple as that. So, that said, these are all going to get a clean up, and hopefully they'll all work. If they don't, well, I'll get some clocks that fit it. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm quite happy with that. So I think that's going to go home with me tonight. I have already looked at YouTube and I've seen how they enamel in here, and I think that will be a neat little trick, which I will video. Hopefully it'll work. I just don't want to lose the patina of this Bakelite stuff. That's the original colour, that's what we need to sort of gear ourselves up to getting back to. So I'm going to soak this and hopefully lift the dirt off with some mild detergent of some form and let it soak for a bit. In the meantime we can crack on with those, but I'm happy with that position. I mean, I've cut very little. I've cut these slightly bigger and it looks like Mickey Mouse, that, doesn't it? So I've cut those there and I've just made an incision round here and here for these two holes, because ultimately, you know, something has to go in there, so I've got to cut the hole. So I think, and I didn't measure anything, I just did it by eye because I wanted to not cut as much of this as possible. So it's only been a trim on there, there, there and there really. Everything else fits. So there we go. My brain is back switched on. We'll see. Bye for now. And a warm welcome, not necessarily to the warehouse, but to my home. Let's see whether this battery is going to be alright. Seems to be. Right, okay, welcome back to Friday the 17th, and we are not in the unit today, no siree, because I thought I'd do this next job in the comfort of my own home, on my dining room table, where I can concentrate and be as accurate as I possibly can doing the markings on this dashboard here. As you can see, in all its glory, we have an array of parts, etc. So we've got the clocks, we've got, fortunately, these that have come off. I'll discuss those in a minute because they have turned out to be problematic. The glass, fortunately, I haven't broken any of them. They have a slightly concave, is it the right word? As you can see there, each one. We've got a smaller one there. And finally, we've got another one there. All of which are in perfect condition. So that's good. Now, there's little rubber gaskets as well. One would assume that these gaskets that are around here, I think there's another insert somewhere, are to keep the water out, obviously, because these are marine clocks. They are not auto clocks for vehicles, etc. Now, the insides of these, the faces, the clock faces, are in perfect working, well, they're not in perfect working order because I don't know whether they are working, but the condition of them are very good. As you can see, the only difference is that as I've looked, these have faded to sort of a yellowy mustardy colour where they were used to be bright red or orange, which is cool. They all look the same and the condition of them are the same too. So I'm happy with the condition of those, and all we need to do is put things back together. Now, the next step, we've got all the little screws etc. that go on the clocks themselves. They're all good and they're all present. The one things that we are not present of are those. Now those are for lighting up the actual clocks themselves. This one came out of the main one, and I have a bulb there which seems to be intact. We won't know until we test it. But we are minus one out of there and one out of there. If anybody knows where I can get parts for these things, I would be grateful if you could inform me. I'm sure that possibly the Smith's VDO units may fit those sort of things. I'm pretty sure that Rimmers, etc., from the MG Owners Club, etc., which I am not actually a member of, but I know that there are parts. I don't know whether those would fit or not, but we'll have to find that out. Now, what I thought was going to be a simple job with these chrome clip-on covers is that I assumed, fatal mistake, I assumed that these would be easy accessible and you would be able to buy them. Now, yes, you can buy them. However, these are an unusual size, just typical, isn't it? So these are 2.5 inches. Well, I'll tell you what these are. Where's my tape measure? Quite a lot of these clocks that are on the market are of a certain size. These seem to be completely different. Now, from the furthest point, these are 85 millimeters, which is 3.25 inches by the look of it in old money. These are 62 millimeters, which is roughly 2.5 inches. So those are not easy to find, and you can get things that are similar with ears on, but these are a flush fit and they are designed to go with a gasket in order to prevent water ingress, because the gaskets are beveled like the chrome fitting themselves, so they just slot into that little aperture there, and as you can see it just fits snugly. And then of course that then goes on there, and then it push fits around a lip that you can see there. I can't see because the camera's not showing it, but there you go. You can see that there's a slight lip there, so it clips basically over it, and in order to get them off you have to manipulate them ever so gently off that lip all the way around, which does disfigure them somewhat around the edge. But me thinking, oh well, I'll be able to replace them, no problem, I won't need them necessarily. So yeah, well, it turns out that I'm going to have to try and restore these. I'm not going to get them re-chromed because they are a bit batty, so I'm going to have to come up with a specific colour, I think, in order to complete them. It's a shame that they're not all like that. I mean, that one isn't half bad. It's got quite a bit of chrome on it. It's sort of got a little bit of pitting on it. And that one there, which I've cleaned up with, well, I've cleaned them all with Autosol, which they have come up quite nicely, with the exception of the larger one, which is the focal point of the dashboard. But these two have come up quite nicely, which is a shame that all three don't really match. I've looked online and you can buy a whole clock on eBay at the moment like that for about £130. To be honest, I don't want to spend that sort of money on that. I literally only need that, and I don't think that's worth £130. I think it would make me paint it. I might have to sacrifice these two. I've got a bit of time yet before they need to go back on here, because we're going to deal with these indentations where the Perkins bit is. I will take you closer to it so you can see. I put you straight like that. There you go. So as you can see there, this is engraved And I have bought off Amazon, Mr. Bezos, all these areas here. The only thing that's a bit unusual is that's got a square edge. Maybe that's to stop the actual key itself, the key mechanism, from turning once it's in, because it's got a straight edge there. That might be a possibility. You've got an on-off panel here that I need to buy, one of those switches for there, and alternator bulb that shows that the alternator's working. I need to buy a new one of those because the other one is goosed. So you can see the patina here. That is what the Bakelite looks like without sun rash. And if you would flick this over, these edges are all beveled. As you can see, it's cleaned up very nicely. So originally, when it was new, it would have looked like that, a smooth sort of surface. So my theory is to use one of these pens here, one of those acrylic paint pens, to put some white paint in amongst all that there. And then I have bought also something here. If I put you back on the tripod, so I've got an extra hand available. If I cut this open with a blade, where's my blade? Underneath the tripod, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Let's just chop this open. Don't need those. Plastic blades. One in there. So this is flexible. This is a rubberized drill head, as is that. And I think the idea of this is to go over, once you have got your paint and it's completely dry, is to whip over with your drill on full speed, and that will take off the paint on the flat surface and leave the paint, in theory, in the grooves that the machine has made the engraving. So I think that's what that's for. So we're going to give it a bash. We're going to first of all put the paint in and we'll see how we go. I've never ever done this before, and I've not unwrapped these before, so you're going to see whether I look like I'm a professional or I look like a complete idiot. You get, how many pens do you get with this set? 1, 2, 3, you get 4 pens with this set. You never know, we might need them all. Is there any disruptions with it? Oh, it's water based, it's quick drying, apply pigmentation ink. Okay. So, I need a test piece. One would imagine you would have to pump it. Like, what can I do? Oh, let's do it on a bit of metal. Well, there don't seem to be very much coming out at all. You keep pumping it until something comes out. Put the pen lid back on. Oh, let me read the instructions on here because I can't see it from a distance. Oh, make sure the marker cap is on tightly. Shake. Okay. We're shaking this pen. Maybe put the pen lid down so the paint gets thrown down to the bottom. Let's try it again. Oh, we've got action. We've got action. Right, let's put you in a place where you can closely see what is going on. Is that in the light? Do you this way? Can you see what's going on there? I think you can. Right, let's have a go at this. I think I might go with the easy bit first. I'm going to take that bracelet off because that's annoying me. Start with the P. Okay, dried up again. They weren't wrong when they said it was fast drying. Maybe you've just got to go for it straight off. Yes. Now apparently it doesn't matter if it smudges over, because that's what we've got that rubber thing for. I'd like to get it as accurate as I can, and this pen nib seems to fit perfectly. Sorry, I'm going quiet. Do you know why? Because I'm a man and I can only do one job at a time. You females will know about that. We're not gifted. Total concentration. If you could see a complete concentrated face right now, it would be mine. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty darn happy about that. Let's move on fast while we are in the mood. I'm sure you can, I don't know whether you can see because I'm right-handed and the camera's on the right side, so maybe that was a silly mistake. But I'm not going to stop. I'm liking this. Shall I tackle? No, I'm not going to tackle that yet. I'm going to go down for the little tiny one. I can barely see this one. So definitely start with the big letters first, because you need your wits about you on these little diddy ones. Do I need my glasses on? can't stop. I need a bit more on that U. There. Oops. I haven't got my drill here. It's at the warehouse. Of course it is. But that's cool. Because I wouldn't want to rush it, which I probably would if I knew the drill was here. I think this is my favourite bit because these are deep and I can't go wrong. Tell you what, does that W need to be bigger? Yes. Right, we've got the old word alternator to do. Right, next bit. Whoops, that was a dodgy one. Got a dodgy N there. I'm going to turn this upside down so I don't want it to smudge anything. Oh, two dodgy N's. This is a G. God, that's a difficult one. Maybe it's because these aren't grooved as much. Right, all we've got to do now is this fancy logo. I'll do circles first. And then big circle in the middle. Well, do you know what? For a first attempt, if I prop that up, whoops, I'm knocking everything over. Prop that up. Alright, don't stay, that's it. Tell you what, that's not looking too bad, is it? From a distance, that's not bad. So we'll let that dry, and then I'll give it another coat, and I'll show you the finished article. So for anybody that wants to know again or what I used, I went on Amazon and I bought those there, and if you put that word in there, extra fine tip white acrylic pens, it should pop up with these. I think from memory they were about £6, something like that. Inexpensive, so well worth it, and you get 4 of them as well. I think in total, I think all in all, I think there was about maybe £20 odd for that and these, so I think that was good value. I'm undecided what to do about this patina, whether to leave it as it is or wet and dry it. Wet and dry would actually help with all the lettering because I would flat it all, but this brown sort of tinge with it actually does look okay. I quite like it. It's growing on me. I think what I will do as well is I will use a matte acrylic spray to go over the whole lot to seal it, and hopefully, you know, it will protect everything, and it shouldn't give it a sheen. Or maybe I'll use a satin, I'm not so sure, but I'm definitely going to spray it to protect these words. Well, according to the it looks like that they're already gone off, so I'm going to go over with another coat now. So there we go. Grab yourself a cup of tea, you've earned it watching that. See you in a minute. Which button do I press? I forgot which button I press. Oh, it's that one. And a quick update for you. That's had 3 coats now, so I think I'm going to leave it at 3 coats. I'm going to let that go off. I'm going to make my way down to the warehouse, and I think we'll do some more work on that centre console. So that's what we're going to do. Then I can bring the drill back later and we can give one of these a going over. Maybe we'll use the flat disc, I think. Maybe that one. Because I don't want to burn away some of the patina on this, so I'm going to be really gentle. And I think with a flat area, we'll just take off the nibs, you know, where I've gone over, say, that R and the T and the M, etc. and various other areas around here. I think it will just clear those up quite nicely. Alright, so you and I will head over to the unit. So we'll see you over there. Bye for now. And a warm welcome to the warehouse. Now, as I said, I'm letting that dry back at home, and I'm grinding off this, and I'm going to grind off as much of that as possible so it's sort of half level with that. I might even put a little bit of skimmer fiberglass over this as well, just to protect it, because I would like to paint on the inside as well to make it all nicely complete. They are slightly raised in these areas here, but I think I can get my trusty grinder with a grit sander on the on it just to get those smoothed out. So that's what I'm currently doing at the moment. I should go outside and do it because everything's getting pretty dusty. So I'm going to bring it out over there. Hopefully the wind is going in that direction, otherwise she's going to get dirty. So there we go. So I'll let you know when I've when I've made progress. Bye for now. Okay, a wee update for you. So this has now had a fiberglass skin over all the wood that's protruding out of the back. All there and there, that's completely skimmed. And then this will all get painted out, so that is completely protected from any damp whatsoever. And I think the reason, I think it was a good idea because, you know, the filler wasn't going in all the way around, and if damp gets in, then it's going to blister out on the top, and we don't want that. It's a bit like a car. If you don't get it completely sealed away from a damp atmosphere, then you're always going to get blistering from the inside out. So that now is all good. So we'll just let that go off, and what I'll do now is I'll take my drill home and well, we'll see if we can get that lettering to sharpen up. Fingers crossed that's the case. So I'll see you back at my place. Right, welcome back to my humble abode. So, got the drill sorted. That's got that rubber thing on it. So we're going to give that a go over the main Perkins bit here. And then we'll see how that goes, and then we'll use some Autosol to go over it as well, because that's the neat trick, and I'll show you why once I've got the first stage over with. So I'm just going to go over this. This is like, as you know, it's rubber, but this is to get glue. You know your number plates, and when you stick your number plates on with these sticky pads or whatever, this is designed to get the glue off without damaging your paintwork. So I thought, well, maybe this might be useful to take the paint off here to a certain degree without damaging the patina of the Bakelite. That's my theory, so we're going to give it a go. So obviously it leaves quite a lot of rubber about. So it's definitely taken quite a bit off. But there's quite a bit round there that needs to come off. So the next stage is using some Autosol. Now this is going to do two things. I don't want it to be absolutely white, and the reason for that is because this has tarnished, it's patinaed, it's got a brown bloom to it, and then when you recolour this, it's obviously going to be bright white. Well, there's a neat trick to patina this and make it look like it was original. And what you do is you extract some of the brown patina, which is sun fade, that's all that is, and you bleed it into the white. And also, because this has got a gritty content, use it on the dry section. Because this has got a gritty content, it will also take off, hopefully, the paint around the areas where you don't want the white, and it will leave the paint where it is. But it'll take the brown, or some of the brown, and it will bleed it into the white. And I'll give you a demonstration of this. In fact, I did a bit here. If you can see, you've got, let me have a look. So you've got bright white, and then you've got ivory, a dull white. And all I did with that was bleed this into this, and it created a patina look. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. I got that close enough, yes. So we're going to gently rub. Can you see it going brown? Like so. Right. You could actually leave it like that, but I'm going to just take that off with a damp cloth. Sorry, a dry napkin. And you can see it's coming back to life. So if I use, I've just put a bit of water on this. We just clean up the white, because if we're going to spray over the top, we can't have any of the autosol loitering. You can see the brown, that's purely sun. But what we're doing is we're just utilising that, and there you have it. One Perkin marine diesel engine emblem that's patinaed. You can see how white that one is, and you can see how that's just patinaed nicely, and the clarity's there. You can even see the little tiny bits of brown stuff in it. It just looks like, and you've not really taken any of the patina off. You might have just, if I clean that up there, it would sort of average itself out. But once it's sprayed in a satin, you'll not see any of that, but you'll see that this isn't stark. Same with that there. I mean, the white is, that's just a little bit white still. I just need to go over that. So I'll do this area here, here and here, and we'll get it all looking like that. But if you look at that now, I'll defy anybody to say that that's been retouched. So there we go. Top tip of the day: use the patina to make it patina. I've got loads of rubber dust all over it. Right, I shall crack on and do that one next, and then that one. So I'll see you shortly. Right, so I've cleaned this thing up, and really there's not much else I can do with this. So I could do with your thoughts with reference to the these. As you can tell, that clearly is knackered, but like hen's teeth to actually replace, unless somebody out there knows where I can get one of those from. Whoever, you know the size because you would have watched before I started that. I would have given you the sizes of that one, that one, and that one. Those two are being the same size and virtually the same condition. I mean, they are pretty good when all's said and done. But you know, I'd like all three to match. So if that's knackered, then you know we may have to. If I can't find new ones, then we're going to have to spray them. And personally, I think if they were done in silver paint, I think they would probably look a bit tacky. I don't know. Maybe they should be done in black, because this is black, and maybe they would look better in black. Your thoughts are required as usual. So that's what she looks like. Can you see? It's quite clear now. You can see the brown bloom in it, and because I didn't use any abrasion, the brown bloom is still retained behind the letterings, etc. So I think that's turned out really well, because it's not as white as the ink suggests. It's nicely patinaed, which is what we want. Obviously I've got that chrome badge to go on there. I'm a bit unsure where the heck that is. I think probably I've left it back at the unit, knowing that it wasn't required at this stage. I don't know actually where the devil it is. In fact, it has been here because I cleaned the back of it in the kitchen. So maybe it's in the kitchen. That worries me a bit, the fact that it's here. I thought it might be at the unit, but it's not. So there you go. That's what it looks like. I think that looks terrific. Your input would be good, whether you think that that was the right choice, going for this one and not the other one, like I was hesitant like an idiot. We need to get a new one. We need to get a new starter with a key. We need to get, well, we need to do something, maybe get a chrome switch on off for the panel. We need to sort out the lights, etc. for it. We know that the glass over there is all good, so that's cool. So I think the next job really is to get these done, and then the center console wax in primer. But that won't happen this episode, because I'm going to get it on, because I'd like to know what you want me to do with these things, because unless you know, maybe somebody out there that knows where I can get some Perkins Marine VDO bezels in chrome. That's the crucial thing, because they are not a standard size. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. The phone's ringing.